What up? Oh my God. Technical difficulties at its best. I know you heard some Chinese language. If you hear some Chinese language right now, please let us know. Because we're not speaking Chinese. It's not like a whole lot of scribble scrabble. That was crazy. You can hear nothing we were saying. So we're gonna start it over again. We're more laid back. We kind of figured out what happened. And we're gonna get the sound together at a later date. But right now, y'all need to hear about our special guest, Miss Aretha Furr. Yes, Miss Aretha Furr is in the building. What's up, Aretha? How you doing?
I'm pretty good. Thank you for having me here on this nice, beautiful Sunday, sunny day.
Yes. We had to do it. And of course, we are here today, man. We're here today talking about this amazingness that we have up in our studio setting, Miss Aretha Furr. So we're gonna get right into it. Let me ask you one good question. Can you give us a little bit about your background, your history?
Sure. Well, I am a product of Winton Terrace, Brick City. Grew up there my whole childhood life. Wonderful experience, wonderful time. Transferred from there to being a mom, off to college, and all that good stuff. Fast and forward. January 2020, I came up with A-List Transportation, which is a reliable passenger transportation service.
And that's, you said the transportation service?
Yes.
A beautiful thing, man. We got a lot going on. Well, we into it though. Aretha, trust me, we is into it, man. This is a heck of a show. I love it. I love it when the forces try to come at us and we just hit them back with the power. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. The power of God. Right. You know what I'm saying? You can't stop us, man. You can't stop us. So let me ask you this question, Aretha. What inspired you to start A-List Services?
Well, my mom, she was a W amputee. She passed on January of 2012. But in the midst of her being here, she was transported numerous of times, even throughout the week, to dialysis, medical appointments, and so on and so forth. But she always complained about the level of service that she received during her time, as far as the driver not assisting her, the driver having a language barrier, miscommunication, driver not arriving on time, all those things that connects to proper and adequate transportation service. So I came up with A-List Transportation after she passed January of 2020.
Right.
And this product and this service allows us to provide adequate transportation service to anyone that inquire for our service. And what we do is we started out doing majority of elderly services, picking them up to and from dialysis, medical appointments, grocery stores, or wherever we get that service call from, and making sure we provide the most 5-star rated service to them.
Yes.
Meaning calling them before we on our way to let them know that we are en route in your direction, providing adequate service from the door to the vehicle and vice versa. Walking them into doctor's appointments, dialysis, and things like that. Helping them with their bags or whatever we can actually do to make sure that they're comfortable and they enjoy the service that we provide for them.
That's awesome to hear that too, because like I said, I work in long-term care and I work in a lot of nursing facilities, and I see transportation companies that we have already, made appointments and they don't show up. And then just for hearing you say that your company, walking them to the door. That is so important because sometimes they'll just leave them, right there, and like you said, helping them with bags. All that stuff is so important. These other companies that I see, they literally just for the transportation part only, not being compassionate and just hearing from what you say. You sound like a very compassionate transportation. And people, they be needing that. They need all that.
Absolutely, especially coming out of dialysis. You know, they are tired.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They done went through a whole cycle of treatment. And they most of the time they just be tired. Where, you know, it helps for someone like us to help carry their bags. You know what I'm saying? To open the door.
Right.
To hold the door. You know what I'm saying? To see them through the whole process. It speaks volume for us, knowing that we providing service for them. And it speaks volume for them, knowing that we providing good service for them.
Right.
So it works hand in hand.
That's good. That's good. They and people, you know, they need that transportation. And I'm just loving it that, you know, coming from Black owned. And so like you said in the beginning from Winton Terrace, somebody that came from Winton Terrace, like, you know, coming growing up in places like that, we don't dream of stuff like this. You know, we don't think we can do things like that.
Don't think outside the box. Yes, exactly.
And
Yep.
just you having this company, like I be all for, I be excited. We've been waiting to get you on here, like, cause this is what we love. Like this, I mean, this is what we love.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely. Thank you.
So let me ask you this, Aretha. I mean, like, because like any businesses, you always have these ups and downs and crazy things going when you first get started and everything. So what were some of the challenges that you faced when you first started your company, and how did you overcome them?
Well, first, it's always about the money, right?
Yes.
How can you start a business without revenue,
Right.
without money? How can you start a business without going to the bank and they deny you? You know, grants are not available. You'll have no source of revenue to start a business. So what I actually did was I actually bootstrapped the company from the bottom up.
Right.
I financed the business myself, paid myself back with interest as if I actually got a loan from a financial institution.
Okay.
So that's how I did it. It worked.
It worked, and it worked well,
It worked well.
because every time I look up, they go A-list. I go to the store, they go A-list. I'm like, Aretha is doing her thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I might look on a park bench and say, let me sit down on A-list for a second. Let me sit right here for a second, see how I feel. Yeah, that's what's up, though. I love it, man.
Like that dude. I do. It do make you just happy. And too, I be like, because if I do see one, if I'm out with somebody, I'm like, I grew up with her. You know, it just be happy for me just to, you know, just to see that, to say that. Like somebody I grew up with, this is her company. That's her company.
Yeah.
You know, that's a wonderful thing. That's a wonderful thing.
Like, matter of fact, like when we said like next week we're gonna have we told our daughter we're gonna have A-list on you know, she's I see them everywhere. You gonna have them on? I'm like, yeah, she's gonna be on the show next week. She's gonna be on the show. So let me ask you this. So Aretha, back in the day, like when I first started my company, you know, I think you were doing like daycare or something like that. And I know you were taking care of your father. And every time I bring my product to you, use my customers in like 2019 or 20, somewhere in that area. And I would come over there. You say, hey, how you you know, how you get started? This that. I heard you went through the program, blah blah blah. And so I told you, and so I wanted to know, when I told you about Mortar, you said I was going to apply. I was going to do what I have to do to get started. And I want to know, did you actually go through Mortar? And if so, how much has Mortar helped your business to come to this point?
I did go through the program at Mortar.
Okay.
And I finished and graduated from it.
Okay. Whoop, whoop.
Right.
Yes.
Program was very impactful. I did learn and gain some information that has helped me enhance A-list transportation.
Right.
And I also, my mindset was always to tap into whatever resource that was available and get in that program and finish. Because you never know what program you might enter. It might be a very small percentage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you go through a program for maybe just type of thinking 12 weeks, you know, that one class, it might be one topic that you're going to gain and learn from.
Exactly.
And that will help you, your business grow and flow through the time span. So I always had the mindset to get in whatever program that was available tap into, enroll,
Yeah.
get accepted, and finish.
Yes.
You know, regardless if it was useful or not.
Right.
One of the programs the very first program that I entered was GCMI.
Okay.
That was the very first program. And matter of fact, my daughter had told me about that program.
Okay.
She had went through the program
Right.
without me even knowing. She did a lot of stuff without me even knowing. But anyway, she introduced me to that program. And I think I went through 4 individual programs.
Okay.
It was Ice House 1, 2, and they had a business or something like that. So I finished all 3 of them.
Okay. Okay.
And when I first went, I had no concept of
Right.
transportation. You know what I'm saying? And Mr. Willie, I will never forget. What is your why? And
Yeah.
I was all over the place trying to answer the why. You know, because I did not know. This is like, you know, small business language. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So after he broke it down to me, like, what is your purpose?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All this is a part of the why. So after I understood the concept of what is your why, now I can answer it real fluently now.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
What is your why?
The why is to provide reliable transportation service
Okay.
to those that that we provide service for.
Okay.
So that is the why.
That's what's up. You know, like when I also went through mortar. Of course, you know that. But when I went into the mortar program, I went in there like I wanted my mind to be blindfolded. I didn't want to go in there like my business is already doing good. It's doing great. What I mean, I wonder what they're gonna teach me. If they really gonna be able to teach me? No, I was like, I want to learn anything, any and everything I can, because what a person should know when they go into business or if they're already into business is that you don't know everything.
You don't.
It's always something to learn and gain that can help your company succeed
Absolutely.
and grow. So I went in there with the mindset like, I'm going in here to learn some things.
Right.
Like that's my whole purpose. Like even if I knew, you know, from starting at A, B, I knew that like I wasn't like brushing it off. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna actually answer these questions. I'm gonna, you know, gain something from each and every part of the program that I can. And it's helped me in a major way, not only with Melanin Splash, but with Product of the City, with the seasoning company that we have, everything that we do, even communicating with other business partners or business owners or anybody for that matter. So it was a great program, man. I can't say less anything greater about them, but they're a good program, and I would encourage anybody that's trying to do business to go out there and get it. Go through their program or any program that can help you succeed.
Yeah. You got the Urban League have programs out there. You got African American Chamber.
Yes.
You got Mortar, like you just mentioned. You got GCMI. The city is full of resources.
Right.
You even got EDCI, something like that. But the city, our local city has a lot of information.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things, even when you start your business, still continue to have them as your resource,
Yes.
your reference, you know, because you're going to need to be updated along the way.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Things change. Things do not stay the same.
Oh yeah.
You know,
They definitely
so,
change.
I've been in this business for 5 years now, and I still go to those various that we just mentioned
Right.
for resources,
Right.
information, for help.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You still need to be mentored. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So never let your guards down as if you got it all.
Right.
You
Right.
know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because that is the wrong attitude to have, you know, for your business to flourish and grow.
Yes.
You know, always be willing to tap into and let people share information with you.
That's true.
You know, so
And you know what you saying that was something that I mentioned to her like probably twice within the past 2 or 3 weeks. I said, you know what, we need to go back down. We need to go there. We need to find out some information because I need some updating. You know, I don't know it all. I need some update. I need to know if there's some avenues or some outlets that can gain us some financialness or some just anything that can help us.
absolutely.
So we definitely need to go to Mortar, which is down at People's Corner, right?
Yep.
Yes, the new facility down at People's Corner.
And
So
just hearing y'all say that, I just wish I knew all of this. Just hearing because I mean y'all both still in business, and y'all was open-minded to learn and want to learn
Yeah.
things and not feel like I got it. I think I was like, when I had the shoe store, it was that I got it. I thought I knew what I was doing, but I didn't. Now, I didn't know. I didn't know how to market for real. I didn't know. It was just I built a cute store. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Stuff like that, but I didn't have that. I didn't have the knowledge of nothing about business, to be honest. Like, I did not know.
Right.
I just thought, selling some shoes,
Yeah.
and that was it. And it cost me a lot of money that
Right.
I, went down the drain.
That's the unknown.
Yeah, so I wish I knew, like, hearing you saying, all the things, and I'm serious because I follow, people and stuff afterwards. And like I said, even when I see that you had went to Cincinnati State and you had said something, I was like, I wish I would have did stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, this stuff you need to know. Like, because that now that I don't have the store, and I can sit back and watch other people, it's like, wow, I wish I knew that.
Right.
Wow, I wish. And then just
Right.
being around him, like, he's so know how to market and brand and, and just, stuff that he be saying, I'd be like, I ain't know. I didn't know nothing about having a business. I did not know, but it is good, like you said, always be willing to learn and don't
Always.
think you know it all and this and that,
Always.
because I thought I knew it all and it didn't get me
And
nowhere.
man, I would never want to have that mindset, like knowing it all.
Right.
That's one of the first things that, in order to get ahead even to get introduced into business, you have to be willing to learn.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yes. So let me ask you this question, Aretha. Okay, you started with maybe 1, 2 vans. Well, you started with one van. You started with one van, right? Now you're at how many vans, and what are your plans for expansion?
Well, you're right. We started with one van
Okay.
and one driver myself. Currently have 13 vehicles.
Wow.
Yes.
And 17 part-time dedicated drivers.
Okay.
When you speak of dedicated and that dedication, for those that's willing to actually get up and come to work each and every day
Every day.
and provide quality and adequate service to our customers,
Yes.
that speaks volume.
Yes.
And I remember working for a lady at the hospital. And there was always a dark space in the work atmosphere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think the management made it even darker. And I always said, if I ever had an opportunity to supervise a full staff, what I would not do,
Right.
and what I would do to make it very pleasant.
Right.
And I think I have a really nice, pleasant workplace environment.
Yes.
And the one thing that we can never take for granted, and we should never take for granted, on how we should treat our employees.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And one thing, I come from a direction of a ask direction. You know what I'm saying? It's never a direct question. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Or
Right.
direct telling somebody what to do.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Right. Right. A
saying?
direct demand.
It's
yes.
always asked, and I'm always asking from an asking standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always saying thank you and please.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Very respectful.
That
Yes.
speaks volume.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because people receive things different and better when you come from those type of directions.
Right.
It helps the workplace environment
Yes.
to be pleasant. My drivers, they come in my office, they sit there and talk to me like, you know what I'm saying? Which is
Like you're a
cool.
coworker.
You know what I'm saying? It is good.
Mhm.
It's good.
It is.
It's good to have that relaxed, but they also know what our purpose is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that would never be crossed in the atmosphere, workplace environment either.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because they know when they leave, nothing's micromanaged.
Right.
If I have to micromanage you, it's not the workplace for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if you can go out there and do what you're supposed to do without me having to track you on, we got GPS in all the vehicles,
Yes.
tracking devices, cameras, and all that stuff. So if I ever have to tap into that means you're doing something you shouldn't be doing.
Right.
And you don't belong here.
Right.
Right. Right. Right. Yes. Yes.
So my workplace environment is very, very nice and suitable for my mission, for my workplace environment.
Right. Right. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yes.
So let me ask you this question. Now, how long was it before A-list began to turn a profit?
First year.
The first year?
First year.
Okay.
First year. This business has, I mean, oh my God, it like, you can imagine me at a racetrack,
Okay.
right? And you at that start line,
Yeah.
and you take off. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And you get your speed up faster and faster and faster
Right.
to get to the finish line. The business took off just that fast.
Wow.
You
Were
know
you
what I'm
ready? Were
saying?
you ready for it?
I would say yes and no because I'm gonna tell you what I do each and every day. I pray over A-list transportation.
Right.
I actually pray over this brand.
Yes.
Not only just this brand, the drivers, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And I manifest.
Right.
You know, if I say, if I make, this is just hypothetically, $100,000,
Mm-hmm.
next year I want to make 3.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The next
Yeah.
year I want to make even more. You know what I'm saying? So that being said, you got to be positive about it.
Right.
You got to continue to knock on doors.
Yeah.
You got to continue to reintroduce yourself and your brand.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You got to continue to sell your brand. You know, so that's always my mindset each and every day. You know, so but prayer and praying about this business is at the beginning of my day each day.
Mm.
And then you said, starting a business, it would inspire you was because of your mother. I'm a strong believer in energy. And then, when life transition, like the energy, some of that can be coming from the energy from your mother, like we
Yeah.
still, like that energy, like, our parents still with us. So that energy, and keeping that good energy, and that was connected. That was something connected, with your mother. So you stood on it and you manifested. And once you do that, all the energy source still. So
Right,
I feel
right,
like,
right,
that source, energy source, that's why you thriving so well
Yeah.
too. Your mom, like in that
right.
loop of that realm of that loop of that.
And you can't do it from a revenue standpoint because you gotta have your compassion into it, love. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have good intentions.
Right.
So yeah.
So I have a question. So let me ask you this question. So, what was your initial process for starting your team and building your team? And how many employees and staff do you currently have? And do you have any plans on hiring in the near future?
You know what? Majority of my drivers are friends.
Are they friends? Okay,
They
okay.
are friends.
Now that's something
They
that's
are
amazing.
friends.
That's wonderful.
Because man,
Yeah.
That's
Friends.
good.
I have a brother that works with me.
okay,
Majority of friends, and I have, of course, people that inquired outside of that realm. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. As far as hiring in the future, most of our service is provided during the school year, right? So in July, I will start to know exactly what to expect for when school starts.
right,
And that will determine if we need to hire some new drivers on board, for the next school year.
yeah. So depending on what type of contracts you get, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly. And
Right.
then sometimes the hiring will go into the middle of the school year because some things be added on as time progresses and grow.
Right. That's amazing. So you think you're gonna be hiring some people soon?
I think so. Because I'm always speaking speaking things into existence.
Right.
I'm already going to buy a couple of vehicles over the summer just so I can be ready. You know what I'm saying?
Okay
Like
then.
they say, if you're going to do something, speaking to existence, so you already ready when those
Exactly.
contracts come in place. So,
Stay there.
oh yeah.
Yeah. So as we know, as businessmen or businesswomen and whatever you want to call it, as we know, it's not all about glitz and glamour, right?
Right.
So can you describe any hiccups or that you experienced and how did you overcome them?
Well, ain't nothing like not getting paid on time. Right?
Then your employees looking at you like, hello?
Hey, nothing like not receiving your payment of service on time.
Right.
Right, because these big tracks, they want to give you like a net 30, net 45, net 60,
Right.
net 60, which is okay. you can plan for that if they pay you on time.
Right.
Right.
So after that net 30, you expect this big check to be coming through your account in the mail or something, but sometimes that is not always the case. But you still got your everyday operational costs that you
Yeah.
have to have the money for.
Right.
You know, so like I tell people all the time, it's like they say, even in your personal financial journey, you're supposed to have 3 months in a hole, right?
Right.
For worst case scenario, same as business. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So when you generate money, don't spend all your money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You better put something up because you don't know how them invoices gonna come in.
Right.
So I always got money in the rear for like that. And then like in the summer, you know, we don't work.
Right.
saying?
Right. Right.
You
Right.
still gotta pay your car notes, you got insurance.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I just renewed my commercial insurance, was $27,000.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So you gotta have money in the rear. And then you need startup money. Like when school starts, that's like starting up all over again.
Right.
So you need startup money. You know what I'm saying? So don't get relaxed.
Right.
Spending.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta have money in the rear.
Going to the Bahamas.
Gotta have money in the rear.
Yeah. 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 Because it's definitely not all glitz. It's. I don't know how long it'll take before you could just sit back and. Oh, I did it. Nah, it's gonna be work after work after work, man. It's crazy, but it's. I say if you have the passion for it, it's not that bad. Don't feel bad.
No, I don't.
Don't feel bad at all because you know what you have to do. Like you said, you have to save, especially for rainy days and potholes and everything like that.
Absolutely.
So speaking on that note, how much did it take for you to invest to start A-List, and how did you secure your funding?
Well, it probably took me about $15,000 to $20,000.
Right.
And I actually borrowed some money from my retirement and started it.
Oh, okay, cool. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can actually borrow from your pension or your retirement. Okay, cool. That's
You
nice.
gotta be disciplined, put that money back.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I put the money back.
Yeah, that's good.
With a
That's
little
good.
interest.
Yeah, that's good. That's what I'm talking about, because somebody would have took it out. You know what? I don't know if I want to start that company. I was thinking about going to Jamaica.
Yeah.
See all that money, like I want to go to Jamaica now.
You know,
nigga.
sometimes people want to start it and think the money's right there.
Right.
But even if it's not, you know, allow yourself time to put the money there. That means saving. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's just, you know, just put a time frame on it. Be disciplined. Have that mindset to save $1. So, you know, in a year or two, you can start up whatever your business and your goals are.
Yeah, that's very important. That's very important. So location. We know we need that good location so we can get the traffic coming through or whatever the case may be. So I want to know, is it important to you? Was it important for you to have a good location? And how did you decide on location and the layout for A-List?
Well, I started out as a home-based business.
Oh, okay. Right.
Home-based.
Right.
Because, you know, what you never want to do is spend more money than what you got coming in.
Right.
And what you don't want to do is spend money not knowing what you're going to have coming in.
Right.
Right. So what I did was I started as a home-based business.
Mm-hmm.
I had a little office at home.
Yeah.
Started slow until it started growing. Right.
Yeah.
And then once I started seeing generating revenue, okay. And then another thing, I didn't want all this traffic around my personal space.
Right.
Then as I seen revenue coming in, okay, now I can afford to rent a room.
Yeah.
Right. So I rented a room.
Yeah.
Right. With parking. Right.
Nice.
And I can transition it from my home to away from home.
Right.
Right. So I did that. At the end, I stayed there for a year. Then as more money started coming in, now I can get me a bigger space.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the concept is don't spend money until you can see it coming in. Right. So now we got a nice, comfortable place with an office, a storage, and a break room.
Right.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah.
With parking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That is nice. Yeah, I was something I wanted to oh, like when you was my you still my customer, but back then when you first started, you said yeah, I come over there, I got my first van. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. Then I come over like 2-3 months later, something like that. I got 2 more vans over there, Chico. I was like, what? I'm like, yeah, she's doing her thing. I loved it. I was like, yeah, she is progressing. So I know exactly. And at this time, I don't know if Pops was still around or not, but was he still around when you started?
Yeah.
He was still around.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. Yeah. You was doing a lot. Your mind, you was focused. That's all I can say.
Thank
Cause you
you.
was on Pops. You was
Thank
like,
you.
I'm taking care of my Pops.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't have it no other way.
Yeah.
Both my parents.
Yes. That's
Both
what's
my
up.
Parents. That was my goal. Like when I left high school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And my mom, she told us before, she said, I don't want to go in a nursing home.
Man.
So we had to start making, if you was listening and paying attention, you know what I'm saying, you start making those plans for your parents then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You start positioning yourself.
Yeah.
That way when that time come, you're in a position where you can take care of your parents.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My home has been transitioned a couple times.
Right.
My mom, of course, being a double amputee.
Okay.
My dining room was her bedroom.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then my mom was a smoker, so I don't smoke.
Yeah.
I didn't smoke. So we had to make my solarium her TV room.
Okay.
Where
Yeah.
she went out there and she sat all day because she was a chain smoker.
Right.
We sat there and smoked all day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then my dad came aboard with me. I had to transition my bathroom and put the Sterilift in. You know what I'm saying? It was just one of those things, but I wouldn't have had it no other way.
Yeah. That's amazing.
It is amazing.
That is amazing.
That is, and that taking care, listening to your parents. I was the same way. I took care of my mom off and on for 8 years. The last 3 years of her life, she lived with me, and that was the thing. I worked in healthcare nursing home. There was no way my mom was going in one.
Right.
It was like she was not. Like I would give it up everything
Yeah.
for her to be with, to be with me, and I did it. Like I wouldn't have it no other way. It was like, how do a woman who did all this for me with nothing?
Right.
Yeah.
Because it recycles.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It recycles just like that. Because when we was young, vice versa. Now, when they're older and it can't, vice versa. So it recycles.
Right.
So just one of those things.
And so that was so important.
Oh yeah.
And that's where that energy coming back. Just, because it's in the Bible, honor thy mother,
Oh,
honor thy
yeah,
father.
yeah.
And all of your days to be, people think when they say that, you're going to live long, but no, good prosperity going to always come, no matter
Absolutely.
what. Like, no matter what it is. No
Absolutely.
matter what it is, good prosperity. And
Yeah.
just good energy people. You got good energy.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. You sure do. You definitely got good energy. I've been knowing that for years.
Thank you.
And I'm glad that that I had the chance, and I still do have the chance to connect. And we're like, look where we at now. We doing a podcast talking about your business. So that's beautiful. But we have this new thing going on to where we have anybody that's interested in wanting to have their business or their product or anything advertised on our show. We have a couple of different options, and I just wanted to throw that out there. But we're about to take a little something, and we'll be right back in a second.
Inspiration by Classic Care presents Minding Your Money Conference on July the 12th, located at 10078 Redding Road, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45241. Registration is just $25. Cash App, Kenyatta Packer, or Zelle at KenyattaClassy@gmail.com. Come one, come all. You don't want to miss it. There's going to be Huntington Bank representatives, financial advisors, entrepreneurs teaching you how to invest, how to save, how to create a budget, how to save for your forever home, how to save for first-time home ownership. You don't want to miss it. You can still have generational wealth in this economy. I'm excited about it. I'll see you then July the 12th from 1 to 5. Registration $25, 10078 Redding Road, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45241. See you then.
Yo. Yes, we are back. We are back. We are back. We are back. We're back. We're back. So yeah, we were saying like like it's always good to do your thing when you have a business, man. You have to pay attention. You have to pay it forward. You have to learn from your parents. And if you're learning and listening, you will set the example for when it's your time to be in that situation. Hopefully you will not be in that situation, but you will be hitting some type of situation. And it's good to have children there to see you through in a comfortable way.
Absolutely.
So that's very amazing. I wanted to ask a question. What level of support do you get from friends and family?
I think it's very high. I get a lot of support from all my family and friends.
Right. It's real high.
It's real high.
That's good.
Yeah, because like in some cases it's like you might not get the support you need. You might it's like pulling teeth out of a lion's mouth to get support you need. But it's great to have that your friends and your family. Like you said, you have one brother working for you, right?
Right.
And your friends is the rest.
Yeah.
So boom, you had it made. So God has been on you.
Oh yeah.
He's been laying down a red carpet for you.
Absolutely.
I have to say that. So I remember you was telling me a story, but I just want to see what you got to say about this. What role of customer service feedback? What role does it play in your business?
100%.
Right.
100%. Because what we do, like I work in the field every now and then, right? And I'm always asking our customers, even students, you know what I'm saying? How is the drivers?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How is things going? How are you treated? You know what I'm saying? They speak very highly of they driver. You know what I'm saying? And then they, I've heard when the driver came back and say, well, so-and-so told me that you asked how I was doing in the workplace. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always asking. Surveys are very important because you want to know what type of service you're providing to your customers around the community. You want to know how the drivers are doing and things like that. I have put some on the board our last day of school. And to make a long story short, I was telling the drivers, thank you so much for treating each and every passenger with dignity and respect. Dignity and respect.
Right.
That equals a successful school year.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Successful school year.
Yes.
We transported over 120 people a day, per day,
Right.
adequately, on time.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Safe. You know what I'm saying? With respect.
Right.
Over 100 and some people per day. That speaks volume.
Do they give you some type of readout, like they factual a readout, like okay, you did blah blah blah, you were on time, blah blah blah?
No, but guess what? We didn't get calls from schools.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't get calls from council on aging.
Right.
We didn't get calls. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna tell you something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Versus Van 9 ain't here yet. Can you give me ETA?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't get those type of calls.
Right.
So and we did everything that we supposed to do.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So that's that. No news is good news.
No news is good news.
Exactly.
And I could personally say that your A-list drivers, at least in one situation, because I had this one ride. I'm a school bus driver also in I'm gonna say my spare time.
Okay.
Because my business is my main. I'm a school bus driver in my spare time. But I was on this one street, and see, they don't know I know you like this. You know what I'm saying? Now they gonna know like, we got to be on our agent. But I was driving, and she was waiting on I guess she was waiting on the student to come outside the house. And like, I hate to say it, but boy, these dump truck drivers, they will stay in your way forever. But she pulled to the side, let me go past. I said, look at this. I should call Aretha and tell them that you had a driver that was respectful, and she let me go past.
Right.
Because they get on your nerves with these they be like, bro, I'm about to put this trash on. You're going to stay right here till we get done with this whole Vine Street.
Right.
You be late, like, hey. But yeah, that's what's up. So I had to tell you that. But
Right. Thank
so
you.
let me ask you this very important question. Now, is diversity important within your structure of your company when it comes to employment?
It is.
It's important.
It is.
Okay.
It is. And it don't matter what mixture we have in our workplace.
Right.
Everybody gonna be treated equally the same.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Everybody's gonna feel comfortable when they walk through that door.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody gonna get treated with that same dignity and respect.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, I still want everybody to come to my office and just sit there and they talk crap. You know what I'm saying? That will never change no matter what mixture is in the workplace.
Right. I love it. I love it. That's amazing, man, because every workplace in space needs that. But they don't. But we ain't gonna talk about that.
Just to have a boss that's approachable.
Yes.
You know what I'm
Very
saying? Like,
approachable.
very approachable.
Hey, and
so
I'm gonna
that's
tell you,
good.
I get all kind of asked questions,
Right.
favors. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind helping.
Right.
I've helped a lot of ways.
Yeah.
A lot of ways.
Yeah, that's nice.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. So what does a day look like in the life of A-lists? What's your day? How's it look?
You know, our day start at 5:30.
Okay.
At work.
Right.
And I'm tell you, at 5:30 in the morning, the drivers in there talking stuff,
Right.
laughing early in the morning.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And you know what? I sit in my office and I let them do and say whatever they want to say. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they is cracking up laughing at 5:30 in the morning.
Right.
You know, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's a nice environment to be in.
Tired.
Hey, and every day we have a meeting.
Okay.
Every day.
Like
Go
a pep talk, go over things and
Go over stuff, you know, sometimes things they be modified and things like that, but every single day we have a meeting. Rather it's probably 5 or 6 minutes, but every single day. And then we wanted to reassure everybody our mission, our purpose,
yeah.
and things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, every single day.
Okay. So what every you know, if you're passionate about your company, there's some things that you don't know. You about to make my company look crazy.
Right.
So what are some of the absolute no-nos when it comes to your company, your employees, and the structure of your company, period?
Well, the absolutely no is to make sure no students are left on their own vehicles.
Oh, yes. Oh, Lord,
You know what I'm
yes.
saying? So
yes.
what we got is a checklist that you got to check off and sign.
Yeah.
And date and sign it.
Right.
And then we also have this big sign at the mailbox that you put your key in there to make sure, just to remind you, did you check your vehicle?
Right. Yeah.
One thing that's in place, if you ever come back to the lot and it's a student on that car, you immediately terminate it.
Yeah.
So that's the severity of your job.
Yes.
You know, because anytime we're transporting students, it comes with a great liability.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why the insurance is so expensive.
Yeah.
The job is very risky.
Yes, it is.
You know, and we want to make sure that we get all our students home safely.
Yes.
You know, so yeah.
And you would be surprised how many times a child has been left behind on a school bus. You'll be surprised.
I've seen it on the news.
Yeah. So we have our things where you have to go to the back of you go to the back of the bus, you have to push this child checkmate thing and go up, but it's good to check too. You have to do it like 2 or 3 times. You have to do it when you drop up at the school, do it. When you get back to the lot, you have to do it again. It's like 3 times you have to do it. So
make sure.
Yeah. And now they have it to where like when we come back to the lot, they have like it'll be like 2 people, maybe some employees, maybe some bus drivers, some monitors, or somebody out there check. Like when you get back, before you park your bus, they open it up. They're like, okay, you clear.
Yeah.
Because there's been so many kids left on the bus.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you this question, Aretha. You got any questions, babe?
Go ahead.
You good? You good, baby? You got it. You go ahead. Go ahead with it.
Enjoying, learning all this and what she have to say, and just soaking it in, just enjoying it.
Yes. Can you share an example of a difficult leadership decision you had to make?
Difficult.
Cause you it sounds like, oh God, it's so pretty and flowery up in your office. It's so beautiful. I want to go there and just sit. But is it any like, oh man,
I
I don't
do
even.
have one, but I really don't want to discuss that particular one.
Right.
I
What was it something
haven't
like?
had many.
You haven't had many?
Nope, I haven't had many.
What was that? I want to say what was the outcome, but I don't want to say like what you did to what you had to do to the person. But how did you come to the decision of the outcome?
You know, when something it's not much that bothers me,
Right.
but when something bothers me, it weighs really heavy on me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I am very easy and I'm very understandable.
Right.
With understanding. You know what I'm saying? But anytime somebody just do something intentional,
Oh, yeah.
it's like, why?
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Why?
Yeah.
And it was one time I was going out of town. I won't go into a lot of details about it. And I got a long text or whatever, and it just the content that was in the message, it just
Brought
weighed
your
heavy
spirits
on me.
down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I just had to make a decision.
Yeah.
And once I gotten back, that it just wasn't gonna be accepted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. See, that's when they take your kindness for weakness.
It was one of those.
Yeah, man.
One of those.
Don't get on Aretha's bad side. That's all I can say. Let me ask you this, Aretha. Okay, so when it comes to that, now I know the setting is nice. You have your brother, you have some friends, and you might have one or two that's outside of the friendship zone or whatever. So how do you resolve conflict within your company? Or even if you haven't and you come to that, how would you resolve it?
Well, I have not had any conflict,
Right.
But I still want to make sure. It's been times where, because sometimes they like to joke around on each other.
Yeah.
That can actually spiral out of control.
Yes, it can.
So
Yes.
I minimize it. I say, no, we can't do that. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Because what you don't want is somebody to come in and they don't feel comfortable.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to address it early on because it can spiral out of control.
Right.
Because sometimes you get comfortable teasing each other. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you got to be careful and kind of tone it down to make sure, everything stay pretty cool and smooth and neutral.
Yeah. Don't let it get out of
even
hand.
my brother.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So he knows.
Do you let him know, like, hey, I'm your sister, but this is my company?
I
Don't be
say
going
it-
around to I'm her brother. I can do what I want.
I don't say it in that, but it's nice and neutral,
Right.
because although that is my brother, it's equal.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Equal.
And I'm quite sure your employees feel that too. Like, she's making it
Yeah.
a
Even
smooth,
Steven.
flat platform.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's great.
And I respect him as well. You know what I'm saying? I say please, thank you, and all that stuff.
To him too.
Absolutely. The
Yeah.
same as I address the other drivers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's even.
You're a good boss. I think I'm gonna quit my job and come with you. Yeah, because I want that. I'm trying to get
Yeah,
that.
it's even.
Let me ask you this question. What's one adaptation you made that significantly boosted your business?
One thing they say, delegate.
Mm-hmm.
Customer service, I don't want to delegate, right?
Right.
Customer service is the heart of your business, right?
Right.
So I will never delegate that to anyone. Phone calls, I want to answer all the calls because it might be if you delegate too much, especially customer service, you might not get that something that matters most to somebody.
Right.
Right.
That you might never receive that.
Right.
Okay, and how can you fix it if you didn't receive it?
Exactly. Right.
You know what I'm saying? So all the calls, I answer all the calls. Even my daughter, she said, when I take over this business, can you still manage it?
She said, "Can you still make?"
Yeah. I said sure.
Right.
So making sure you answer that phone call and respond is the heart of your business. Customer service is really, really.
It is. It's everything.
It is.
It's everything.
It is. It is,
And
man.
the approach, the tone of voice,
Absolutely.
and everything. So that have to be delivered. Because
Absolutely.
sometimes a person can just say the wrong thing, say it wrong,
Right.
like meaning it, not mean a different way, but just the way they delivered it.
Right.
And then it can be like, so you're
Right.
safe with being just the person that's doing
Absolutely.
it.
And I'm going to reassure you that if something happened, it will never happen again. If something needs to happen, it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I answer all phone calls.
Yes, that's good. You are definitely winning my heart right now because you're a good boss, and you don't get many good bosses out there. I don't know, some it's a lot. This is like an equal platform. You get some good, you get some bad, but we ain't gonna go into all
And
that.
then it's just, I'm sorry
No,
for
go
cutting you
ahead.
off. Then it's just good just for her to say, like, she got majority of friends and
Yeah.
family. A lot of people don't even do that.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know, like, and that's just back,
Their
like,
ego,
you
their
know, bringing
too
people
pride.
with you. You know, a lot of people don't bring people with them.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
and I think, like, that's the heart of it all, to bring people with you. And sometimes, that saying, like, family will do you wrong or whatever, but not all like that. You
Not
have
all.
family and friends, they gonna, respect you because you
Right.
brought them with you.
Right.
They gonna respect your business. They gonna, and it make it easier and comfortable to not just feel like a job. It's a family. It's love. That's
Right.
how I'm hearing. I'm receiving. Like that's
Right.
what it felt like. A family thing, love, and not just a job. Who want? Because who want to work anywhere?
Right.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying? But to have somebody just, you can relate to, you friends with, you family with, that just make it even more just comfortable and just you want to do it.
Like
More.
LeBron James.
Mm.
I don't know him personally, but just reading his story about his business friendship with his friends, that's what I would like to have.
Yeah.
Because
That's
it was his guy who it was that he had brought along with him, and he's
Yeah.
still with them or
Yeah.
whatever. Like
his boys. It was
His
like what?
boys.
It was like how many?
Yeah,
About
school with.
4 of them, 3 or 4 of them. Yeah. Yeah, but you give so much of yourself, Aretha. This sounds like you give so much of yourself, and you trying to make sure everybody, is good and everything. So how do you stay motivated during your everyday process? How do you stay motivated to keep going without the blessings of God?
One of my outlets is line dancing.
Ah, yeah, okay, yeah.
I travels. Before the pandemic, I used to travel real heavy with line dancing.
Right,
So since the pandemic, I'm trying to get back into it.
right.
Going to class on a regular basis. So when I go to these events, I can be on the floor. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And things like that. So I really like and love line dance. That's one of my greatest outlets.
Right. So that's where you go. You say, "Oh my God, I'm so stressed. Can I? Y'all don't have line? Okay, I'll be up there at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah. So was that your first time going back when I saw you that time when I
Going back where class?
to the line dance thing? Maybe you was like, I'm going to line dance up at the YMCA out there.
I can't remember.
It was on the day of that
at the food truck.
The
We
food
seen
truck.
you
Oh,
there.
remember
He
that?
met you to bring you.
No, I've been going way prior to that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, way prior. That was just recently, like
Yeah,
last
he was
month or
saying you
something.
first
Right.
time going back after.
Yeah, going back.
Oh
Started back up.
no, I've been going.
Okay,
going.
okay.
Because one thing, if you don't go to class, if I'm gonna say not if you don't, if I don't go to class to learn to rehearse, then I'm not gonna be comfortable on the floor. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when you're on the floor and you in your zone,
Yeah.
you enjoying yourself and you dancing,
Yeah.
you ain't taking no stress with you on that floor.
Okay.
When you leave that floor,
A whole nother
so,
zone.
yeah, it's a whole nother zone.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing, man.
Yes. And I think everybody need an outlet. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like
yeah.
from everyday thing, not just working, just everyday life situations and everything. I think everybody needs somewhat of an outlet.
Yeah.
Like I work, be at work or whatever and dealing with, patients all the time and stuff like that. Just something is this, come doing a podcast every Sunday is like an outlet. Because we get to talk to people like you, and just get to know people more.
I
even
love
though I
getting to
grew
know
up
more
with,
about people,
yeah, you know
man.
how people would say,
It's something
like,
something about it.
really. Like people would say, like, we from Winds Terrace or whatever, but that's the childhood people but I don't know too much
Now,
of
current.
Aretha as
Your growth.
50-something-year-old woman and
Yeah.
growth and you and just, that energy. So just to get to know these things other outside of Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
people think they can know who people are just from
Hey,
Facebook.
what's up,
But
Riri?
they don't.
No, I ain't
You know,
Riri no
like,
more.
they don't.
Aretha.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So this be like an outlet. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Yes.
It be like an outlet. So
Yeah.
everybody need that outlet
from
to
having
do
a mental
something.
breakdown.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
keep your mind evolving.
So that's your main thing that you do to keep you from going nuts. is the line dance.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody has their one or a couple of different outlets to keep their ball roll, keep their mind on the focus track, because like you said, you can't slip and go. It'll make you go crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your mind will be on overload of
Yeah.
ready to bust.
Yeah.
So that's a great avenue, man. So I want to ask you, like, this probably like the last question that we got, or maybe a couple more questions, but what would you tell somebody that's looking forward to starting a transportation service, or any type of service for that matter, any type of business?
Well, definitely know what your why is.
Right.
Why you want to do it.
Right.
What purpose you want to serve.
Yeah.
Make sure you, tap into the local resource branches, Mortar,
Yeah.
Urban League,
Mhm.
African American Chamber, GCMI. And then when you start going to and through these programs, don't shy away from the group. You know what I'm saying? Fully engage.
Engage. Yes.
Because you never know what your network might be.
Right.
How you might network and connect with other people.
Right.
What you might be able to gain and learn from someone else.
Yeah.
Set some goals and objectives.
Yeah.
Don't be scared.
Yeah.
Because if you become fearful, you never will meet your destination.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So always put your best foot forward to get to your next step in life.
Right. Yeah. Because, like, we as a Black community, we always feel like they're not going to help. I don't feel like telling them about my personal life. I don't feel like. So it is very important, like you said, to engage. Like, how are you going to know where to go, how to navigate through life with your business if you don't ask questions that you need to know? Why would you even go in the program? Or you go to the program to learn.
Yeah, right.
So everything you just said is very important, man. So I want to say, let's applaud. Let's give a couple of horns. Yes, yes, yes. This was a great episode. We learned a lot, and I'm quite sure there's a lot more that we could have learned. And if anyone needs transportation or wants to find out any questions about Aretha and her company or A-List Transportations, how do they reach you?
You can, of course, we're on social media, A-List Transportation, website, alist.transportcincy.com.
Okay.
You can always email us, alist.transportcincy@gmail.com. Office contact number 513-276-9949.
All right.
You
All
can always
right.
come in person, 4439 Reading Road, 45229 in the heart of Bond Hill.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. Y'all hear that?
Nice.
A-List Transportation.
Nice. Yes, yes, yes. A-List Transportation. I hope you heard everything you needed to hear. I hope you enjoyed our podcast. And we're so sorry for that gibberish that you could not that you could not understand at the beginning of the podcast episode before we erased it. But this is the main one. This will still be on YouTube. I'm not sure it's going to be on Instagram, but it will be on YouTube. So look out for that on YouTube, and it'll be edited or whatever. But thank you for joining us. We appreciate you guys for tuning in to Product of the City podcast. And trust me, we will have great, great things coming for you soon. Also, I want to say, make sure that you tune in next week, because it's going to be a giveaway. I can't. My sponsors doesn't want me to say right now what it is or what's the magnitude of it or whatever. But trust me, it's going to be a great thing. It's going to be like 3 things that you can win, or 3 times that you can win. But we'll get into that next week. And you know what? You'll have to tune in to Product of the City next week to understand what it is. But trust me, you'll love it. But I got to say, peace.
We out.
We out. Holla.
Thank you for having me.
You're just a product of the city.